Heyo! Welcome to a very happy Monday, even though it is actually Thursday, April 26, 2018. We are live streaming. It's gonna be a beautiful day. It's gonna be a beautiful day at 9:41 p.m. Pacific time. I like to start my day after I end my day. So yeah, let's get into it. Just let's get everything prepared. Been planning on doing this stream pretty much all day, and I'm glad you could make it. So glad you could make it, because got lots to talk about today. Got lots to talk about, and I'm not sure, no viewers yet, so I don't know if it's even worth talking about. Maybe you don't want to know. Granted, it's only been 45 seconds. Only been 45 seconds. But I find that I'm a lot better at talking when there's viewers. Cool Man's here. Sup, Cool Man? Let me add to that chat here. Sup, Cool Man? As if you couldn't hear me say it. But I think my chat words come before my verbal words, if that makes any sense. Probably not. Anyway, let's get it going. As you can see, we've got the Fortnite running. And the last time I have played Fortnite was the last time I played Fortnite on this channel. But we got lots to talk about. Lots to talk about today. Sometimes I say that there's lots to talk about, and then I ramble on and on asking you for things to talk about. Not today. Not today. So like I said, this is my first time running the game since I last played it live. And so what you're seeing here is brand new to me. Epic Games, we know your time is valuable, so we want you to have this. Good luck, have fun. They gave me 20 gold stars, 20 battle stars. Increase the battle royale battle pass tier. What do I get with this? What do I do? They want me to hit escape. All right, so we're doing tiers now. I can unlock levels. You've reached tier 10. I guess I've been leveling up this entire time. One item has been unlocked. What is that item? Oh, it's a salute. I can salute now. 3 viewers. What's up, viewers? 3 viewers is a good time to get things started. We're going to talk a few things. We're going to talk about video games. But the first thing we're going to talk about today is Senior William Cosby Jr.? I think he was a junior. Bill Cosby, folks. He went for his retrial for his date rape accusations, and he lost, saying he could face up to 30 years in prison. And dude, I think, is almost 90 years old, so he'll get out when he's 120, maybe. And you know, his lawyer said they're gonna fight it, but I mean, even if he wins, you know, even if he wins the 3rd trial, he won the first one. Even if he wins that 3rd trial, he's spending his last days in court. Hey, Rick. Glad you could join us. Glad you could join us. Just here, before we start talking video games, talking a little bit about Bill Cosby. He's been indicted. That's the word, right? Cool Man says, can't believe he's guilty. Now, can you not believe it? Like, no way he's guilty, or I can't believe he did that. See, for me, it's like a mixed bag, you know. There's like, I think, like 70 accusers, and a handful of 70. There's probably some honest people in there, and you know, there's probably some people that, I don't know, that are looking for money. But honestly, I don't know the case that well. They could all be accurate, all be true, but you never know. Never know. Anyway, regardless, he's not going to be enjoying his last few days on Earth. I'm talking like he's got one foot in the grave, but kind of might as well, right? When you're that old and you're spending your days in court defending your... see, this is not... it's not a good start. Not a good start. Oh my god. I'm gonna die. Picking up wood. My pea shooter. This guy knows what he's doing. I'm like trying to build stuff on. Look at me. Like an ass. Look at that. Cool Man says it's both. Rick says, my boy Cosby, I think everybody is capable of doing bad things. It just depends on your background. Yeah, I mean, it depends on your background. It depends on, I was going to say your foreground. I mean, I don't know. It's Cosby's a frustrating one because, you know, his image is so family friendly. Even his stand-up. Because, I mean, there's people like Bob Saget from Full House. He was the dad on Full House. A lot of people didn't know that that dude is one of the dirtiest comedians around. When you see a stand-up, he's just a dirty dude. Like, he's very foul-mouthed. Cosby, on the other hand, had a very popular show, but he kept his act clean as well, and it was actually a very good act. He's a very funny dude. And even, I mean, there was times when he would be talking. I remember him doing, I think it was a Larry King interview, and he was talking about the Quaaludes. That's the word, right? The Mickeys, the date rape drugs. He was actually talking about it, but he wasn't calling them that. He was just saying, you know, this is the pill. When you give the girls the pill, they do this, and he did it in his old Cosby voice. So I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, I guess, to a certain extent. Yeah, that's not true for everything, but I don't know, guys. Like, for me personally, I loved his shows. I really enjoyed them. There were qualities, you know, there was some cheesiness and everything, especially back then, but made some good stuff. So to hear these things, like, hey, it's kind of like Michael Jackson, you know, you hear too many things. You hear it enough, I guess, from enough people, enough personal accounts. It's hard to just say everybody's lying. But I digress. We got more to talk about than the end of Bill Cosby's life. And let's get started. You know, I actually was planning on doing 2 videos this week, just like last week. Last week, I tried something new. I did my actual main video. Oh my gosh, this is a bad idea. I'm gonna die. Look at that. I got 4 health. Do you think I can make it? Think someone's just gonna pop me with a random bullet? I think so. Yeah, so I was planning on doing a regular video this week and a stream. What happened was, I'm very good at saying that, by the way. What happened was, so the reason I experimented last week and did my regular video as a live stream was because I lost, for some reason, I lost my SD card. I had 4 health, guys. I was bound to lose that. I lost my SD card, my SanDisk SD card for my camera, and I ordered a new one on Amazon. It was supposed to get here yesterday. Amazon sent me a message saying, lost it. Sorry, we're late. It'll be here by Saturday. I don't know what the logic is on that, but Amazon says, yeah, we'll give it to you on Saturday. If we don't give it to you by Saturday, we'll do something for you. They don't specify what they're going to do for you. But whatever it is, it's not going to get me my SD card any sooner. So here you are, stuck with 1 video. Cool Man says that sucks. Yes, I agree. It does suck. But, you know, we'll make the best of it. Today we're talking E3 plans. Going to get into that. First, just going to get into a little cool down. Cool-downs at the end. Going to get a little bit of stretch. A little bit of warm-up. I feel like I'm missing words and letters in these sentences, I'm saying. Just gonna kind of get into it a little bit. So, I haven't been playing many PC games over the last week or so because I've been playing on video game consoles, specifically the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. So what you're seeing now is a rare thing this week. Haven't done a ton of this. Haven't been playing PC games a lot recently. It's been kind of lopsided, yin and yang. I'd go from a lot of PC to, I guess now, a lot of console games. And I've been playing God of War. God of War. I think I spoke about that a nauseating amount of times before the game came out. And now it's out, and I've been playing it. I'm not finished. I don't know how far along I am in the game. I don't think there's like a progression meter saying this many percentages through the game. Hey, I've never been in this area, I don't think. I probably have. I've probably died here like twice at least. Yeah, so Rick, to answer your question, I've been playing myself some God of War. And it's interesting because I hear somebody else is here. Look at that. I got myself a nice weapon. Maybe I can kill them. Maybe I should just keep bashing through this thing so I don't hurt myself. Get 4 health. Oh, crap. Or I could just let that person do it for me. Take my purple gun. Yeah, I've been enjoying God of War. Been enjoying it quite a bit. Now, history. I have played, I think, every single God of War to completion except God of War Ascension. It just didn't do anything for me. I didn't play it. Didn't play the demo. Maybe I would have liked it, but at the time, I was disappointed in Sony because the Sony Santa Monica Studios, after God of War 3 came out, they said this is the end of Kratos' story. We're done. Next God of War you see in the series will be a different God of War. What they do, they made a prequel starring Kratos. Turn me off. Turn me off. And it's not because I hated Kratos. It was more because they chickened out. They went for the relatable face to get more sales. And they did the same thing in God of War. Call it God of War 4. Call it God of War 7. Whatever it really is. But it's kind of a soft reboot for the series. And I'm enjoying the game. But it's not a regular God of War game. At all. If you've played the God of War... For some people, that is a plus. That is the reason they're trying this game for the first time. A lot of people haven't touched a God of War game before, but they were really interested in this one. And I think there are some key changes to the series or to the game that caused that. Some people really like the Norse mythology, but I think for most players, it's based on the camera system. And you probably don't even think of it that way. You don't think like, oh, it's got a new camera system. Because the old God of War games had a fixed camera. Well, not a fixed camera, but you couldn't control the camera. It just would follow. It was very cinematic. This one takes a lot of pages from other games. I've seen a lot of influence from other Sony or PlayStation branded games like Last of Us, Uncharted, and I haven't played them yet, but a lot of people are saying the combat's similar to the Dark Souls or Bloodborne games. So there's, I think, a lot of elements in the game that attracted people, and the reason a lot of people are subconsciously attracted to it is because it resembles a lot of games that they are. Oh, think I could get this guy? Nope, he got a gun. See, he went in there first and he got a gun. But I placed 99, not 100. That is what you call a bad game. Rick says, do you have to play the previous God of War titles to understand the story? Great question. No, you do not. No. And again, I have played all but one of the previous games. And I would say you do not. Granted, I haven't finished the game, and I'm not going to spoil anything. I will say, early into the game, there's some dialogue that kind of references the fact that he was in other games, in another god mythology, universe, dimension, whatever they want to call it. There's some dialogue, and maybe they'll expand upon that later, but story-wise, absolutely not. No. I think you can enjoy. I mean, all you got to really, I mean, it's the characters kind of are self-explanatory. You get the idea that you got a father and a son. That's the game, right? It's a father and a son going on a quest. And I won't spoil what the quest is, what they're doing, but that's the story, the gist of it. And, you know, Kratos is a stern dude, serious dude, and it's just kind of him dealing with the son, who's young, innocent to a certain extent. And so there's a dichotomy there. And still extremely violent. I remember I was on a Reset Era thread. It's a message board on the internet. Some guy said he was planning to play this game, play God of War with his 9-year-old son. to have like a father-son bonding experience. This game is not for 9-year-olds. Do not play this game with 9-year-olds. It is extremely violent, and that is a staple of the series. Now, the violence has come along with this game. The sexual encounters have not. And I guess it would be kind of awkward considering... Let's get this guy out of here. Oh, crap. He got the gun. I thought I got it. Damn. Yeah, in every other God of War, I don't know about Ascension, but probably in every other God of War, Kratos has sex. You don't see it, but you can hear it. And you actually are hitting like a button to make him have sex. Not in this one. No sexual themes. No nudity, actually. The other God of Wars had lots of female enemies with titties out. Not in this game. So anyway, I'm enjoying God of War. Also, recently got South Park, The Fractured But Whole for the Nintendo Switch. And enjoying that as well. I played and beat Stick of Truth on my PC. Now I'm playing to beat Fractured Butthole on Switch. And I'm still very early into that game, much earlier than I am into God of War, but I'm enjoying that as well. And it's refreshing because, you know, God of War is a good game. Big budget, you could tell. Graphically, it's one of the best I've ever played. South Park is a much different beast. It runs great, looks great. It's funny. That's one of the refreshing things about the game. Because when you play a lot of games, sometimes games try to be funny, but they're not. Because one of the key elements of being funny is comedic timing. You have to say things in the right way at the right time. If you don't, it's not funny. South Park still manages to be funny in a game, which is refreshing. So I'm enjoying that. So I'm getting my action through God of War, and I'm getting my comedy through South Park right now. Hey, look at this. I'm like way far away from everybody, except this guy. Look at that. He's got what does he got? Like wings? How much do you think he paid for that? It says Season 4 is starting here in Fortnite. I didn't know there was a Season 3, 2, or 1. But these guys are raking in the cash in this game. I think I've mentioned that about a dozen times or so. You're probably sick of it. Look at such a cowardly move. I'm running away from these guys. Like I haven't died a million times already. I guess I'm trying to learn from my mistakes. I just don't want to die. I feel like I've done so much better before now. And I'm just blowing it today. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Rick asked, and I'm gonna... Crap. I'm looking at the chat and getting killed. Rick asked, did the new Marvel movie already release? You're speaking, I believe, of Avengers Infinity War. Yes. It released at midnight tonight. East Coast was an hour ago. Over here, it's 2 hours from now. So, East Coast has seen it. Europe has probably seen it. I won't be seeing it until probably Sunday at the earliest. So, I'm going to try not to get into too much discussion about it just because, I don't know, there's like a big surprise or several surprises in this movie, I think, which is kind of refreshing. The Marvel movies, I think, are good, but often too safe. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also trying to just kind of keep it neutral, not ramble too much about it. Like right now, I feel like I'm not saying anything entertaining at all about this movie. And it's part of me just being very protectionist about it. Like, I really just want to just keep it low-key. I made a low-key video, actually, on my comedy channel. Talking to a key the entire time, a cartoon key. I feel like I'm doing a good job rambling here. So, we're going to move on. Title of this video mentions E3 plans. This is what's been cooking in the old noggin today during my work day. I thought, you know, I'm sick of thinking about what I'm supposed to be doing at my job. What I really want to be thinking about is E3. So E3, looked it up, starts, I think, officially January 12th. June 12th. But the conferences kick off before that. I believe EA is going first this year. I did a little bit of research. Nintendo and Sony, I don't think, have announced what time they're doing their pre-E3 shenanigans. But Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, they all have. And EA is kicking it off on Saturday, the 10th. The 10th, I think, yeah. The 9th or 10th. The 9th. Saturday the 9th of June. And Microsoft is doing their press conference on the next day, Sunday. So, I'm planning on doing something different this year. Last few years, I've been doing kind of recaps. Just taking notes and sharing my thoughts on what was shown. This year, I'm thinking about just sharing my thoughts live, and you could check the recap if you don't see it live. And what I'll do is, if I'm watching any stream, because I still have work, I still have to go to my job during some of these shows. I hear somebody. You hear that person? I still have to go to my job, right? But if I do have to go to my job, if I do have to go to work, I'm still planning on doing a live reaction to some of the conferences. Probably not all of the conferences. If the conference is just boring as hell and I know that ahead of time, well, I'm not going to waste your time with it. But if it's a conference, like for sure, the Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo conferences, regardless, I will do a reaction video. I will probably get to do a live reaction to Microsoft, possibly Sony. Maybe not Sony or Nintendo, but probably Microsoft and maybe EA or Ubisoft as well. But oh crap! I just want to kill him. I just want to kill him. Crap. I'm too into this E3 plans. If you came here to watch somebody die, you came to the right place today. So anyway, I'm rambling, trying to gather weapons and ammo, but really what I want to tell you is I've got E3 plans. So what I'm going to do, if the stream has already happened, if the live stream has already happened, what I'll do is get off of work and watch the stream, like say the Nintendo Direct, right? I'll watch the Nintendo Direct live, give my impressions live. And because the Direct had already passed, if there's a boring part or something, just some very uninteresting talk about sales or something, I can skip it because it's already happened. I can just fast forward through it. What do you think of that? Is that something that tickles your fancy? You say, like, that's great, Chris. I'm not going to watch it. Either way, I'm going to do it. I'm asking your opinion, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's the plan. So, thinking of doing several E3 videos this year. I've kind of kept it at 3 to 4 the last few years. And I'm saying that like I'm not going to do 3 to 4 this year. But it's going to be different. We're going to switch things up. And I think it'll be good. I think it'll be an enjoyable time for all. But speaking of Nintendo, they're getting a new president. Hear about this? Getting a new president. Kimishima, he's the guy who stepped in after Satoru Iwata tragically passed away. Kimishima is going to be stepping down. And in his place will be a young man named Shuntaro Furukawa. Probably goes by Furukawa-san because he is Japanese. And I call him a young man because he is 46 years old. Now that's 16 years older than I am. However, by president standards of a company as large as Nintendo, a multi-billion-dollar company as huge as Nintendo, kind of a big deal for this young man. Kind of a big deal. So he's taking over, and he said that he wants the focus of Nintendo to be on making or providing things that only Nintendo can provide, which I think is a fairly standard answer from a Nintendo employee. But, you know, that's also one of the reasons Nintendo does well when they do well. It's also one of the reasons Nintendo does poorly when they do poorly. For example, the Switch is a very popular console. However, it would behoove Nintendo to copy the other companies sometimes in some regards. The Switch uses friend codes. The Wii U, the Nintendo system right before the Switch, did not use friend codes. A lot of people didn't know that because a lot of people didn't have a Wii U. I never had to enter a friend code once on my Wii U. That's because nobody wanted to be my friend. No, that's not why. I never had to enter a friend code once on Wii U because they didn't exist. Nintendo said, you know what? Wii U wasn't much of a success. And you know what it was missing? Was friend codes. So here we are with a hugely popular console, and Nintendo says, let's do friend codes again. So in that regard, I think it would be good for Nintendo to even copy themselves. Copy the Wii U. Online. Friend system, that is. I'm rambling. I am rambling. But, that's what you come here for, right? If not, you should tell me what you come here for, because I gotta keep you guys. I gotta keep you guys around. If I lose you, I lose everything. Wife would love to hear that. Yeah. You know, I said I had a lot to talk about. We talked about Cosby, God of War, South Park, E3 plans, Nintendo's new president, and Nintendo's online system. But that is actually all of the notes I have. And it's only 27 minutes into this stream. It's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. So I guess we're talking movies for the moment. We can go back to video games. In fact, I could look for some more video games to talk about, some more video game news. But since we were talking about Avengers, we could also talk about another Marvel movie coming out. Around the same time, like 2 weeks after, I think. Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 is coming out like May, I want to say 27th, May 15th, something like that. And turns out people are excited for it. Now, there's been talk about reshoots happening with that movie, which can be good, can be bad. Reshoots may have saved Star Wars Rogue One. I like the first half, or I like the second half of that movie a lot more than the first half. Anyway, Deadpool 2 might not be good. I really like the first one, but you never know with sequels. I mean, the sequel already has a troubled development history. Director Tim Miller, he famously quit after butting heads with Ryan Reynolds on the direction of the movie. Tim Miller wanted to go more action CG oriented. Ryan Reynolds wanted to keep it small, focus more on the comedy, which I actually thought was the right move. But we'll see. We will see. Solo comes out like, I want to say 2 weeks after Infinity War. Another Star Wars movie. And you might be thinking, didn't we just have a Star Wars movie like in December? Yeah, we did. We did. In fact, we only started getting previews for Solo starting on the Super Bowl. Where is everybody? Am I... This is how I survive, is I just lose track of everybody. I'm like thinking, I should be dead by now. But yeah, Solo is another movie that nobody's really sure about. Rumors have been circulating for months that Disney's been ready to write this off as a failure. Somebody told me today that the guy who is playing Han Solo in this movie is signed for 3 movies. Look at that. The game's telling me, the map's telling me, follow the line, Chris. Follow the line. But yeah, Disney might be worried about Solo. Might be a bad movie, you know. That's another movie they did reshoots for. When I say they did reshoots, it sounds like they just refilmed the entire film with a new director. Went from the guys who directed the Lego movie, which I highly recommend, by the way. I thought it was an excellent movie. Went from those guys to Ron Howard, who is a fairly famous director in his own right. Also was Richie Cunningham on Happy Days. Also is the narrator on Arrested Development. He is the director of the next Star Wars movie. Look at that. I can't. Oh, I am in the dome. I am in the dome. Okay, we are safe. We're getting closer to civilization. Maybe now is a good time to break this box. Maybe now is a good time to play the game well. But yeah, what's going on with you guys? What do you guys think of Solo? Looking forward to another Star Wars movie? Did you guys see the last Star Wars movies? I thought Last Jedi was decent, but I totally get the criticism. But I thought it was pretty good. But I could see how it would bug out the nerds. Cool Man did not see The Last Jedi. Are you going to see Solo? Rick says, I have never seen a Star Wars movie. Wow. Very impressive. Very impressive. See, back in the 90s, and I guess, yeah, in the 80s too, but there were these movie of the month clubs. Total scam. It was like, get 100 movies for a penny each or some crap like that. But it was like some sort of thing where they got you with the fine print. Pretty much, people were getting charged up the ass. They were paying for those movies, essentially. Anyway, long story short, my dad signed up for one of these things, and we ended up with a bunch of movies, including Star Wars, the original Star Wars movies, A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back. Not in that order. Anyway, we had the VHS tapes for these things, and that's how I was first introduced to Star Wars. Incidentally, that's also how I saw Terminator 2 for the first time at the ripe age of like 6 or 7 years old. Finally got to see 2 grown naked men on the VCR. Yeah. So, anyway, when you're young, seeing Star Wars, you dig it. You dig it. It's no wonder those films are so popular. And George Lucas always said, you know, I'm making it for the kids. When you look at the prequels he made, yeah, those are definitely for kids because writing was not on point in those movies. Where am I going, guys? Where am I going? It says I'm in the dome. There's 27 of us left. Or is that 27 viewers? What is this? I feel like, you know, I totally don't deserve to be here, but I'm not going to. When I see these motherfuckers, when I see these guys, I'm not going to act. I'm not going to let them know that I don't belong. I'm not going to let them know that I kind of suck. Look at me. I'm trying to. You know what I haven't learned how to do here is properly build forts or walls for that matter. Like people are building shit on the fly really quick. I have no idea what I'm doing. Cool Man says, Terminator 2 is a good movie. You know, I disagree with you. I say Terminator 2 is a great movie. Yeah, you're right. Terminator 2 is a really good movie. I've seen that movie so many times. I've probably bothered my wife with them. But she actually likes the first 2 Terminator movies. Not so much of a fan of any of the movies that came after that. At this point, I feel like there are more bad Terminator movies than good Terminator movies. But we were talking about Tim Miller. I know, Cool Man, I'm just giving you a hard time. I agree with you. Terminator 2 is awesome. We're talking about Tim Miller. He was the director of Deadpool, first Deadpool. And he is going to be directing, I believe, the next Terminator movie, which is being produced by James Cameron, the guy who produced the first two and directed the first two Terminator movies. So I have a little bit more hope. More hope that they're going to go for the R rating this time, too. Last two Terminator movies went PG-13. I think they suffered for it. Rick says, I just build all over the place. So here, let's do some practice. I'm just going to build all over the place. How do I build? I thought I was built. Okay, look. So right-clicking changes your material. Oh, you'd think I would know this by now. Do I not have any material? Or maybe I'm just not supposed to build there? It's acting... Okay, I'm building. I'm building. What does G do? Okay, I just built that. I'm building a fort, guys. Coolman says, Deadpool versus Deathstroke. It might have been you that mentioned this last time, but Deadpool, I believe, was a parody. What am I doing? I'm trapping myself. Trapping myself. Deadpool was a parody of... I'm trying to get out of here, but I can't. That's so stupid. Goddamn. Oh, look. I can make a door? Is that a door that I just made? Look at me. I was about to break my own fort. Why break down walls when you can build doors? Yeah, Deadpool, I believe, is created as a parody to Deathstroke. And that's, I believe, why they look so similarly color-wise. They have a very similar color pattern and yada, yada, yada. However, Deadpool is much more focused on comedy, Deathstroke. That's why he's a, he's a parody. He's a parody. I mean, Deadpool's his own thing now. I don't think he's living to make fun of Deathstroke anymore, but I don't know. Who do you think would win in a battle? What's the name of that channel that does the, is it Death Battles? Is that what it's called? Where they pit two characters against each other and see who would live based on the logic of those characters' lore. Have they done that? Have they done a Deadpool versus Deathstroke? Let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, Terminator 2 is a good movie. I think that was the point I was trying to make, right? I haven't seen a single person, have I? Am I even playing with other people? Coolman says, isn't Deadpool immortal? I don't know. I don't know. I want to say no, because if he was immortal, there'd be no stakes for that character whatsoever. Oh no, Rick says, isn't Deadpool immortal? Coolman says, I think so. So maybe I'm wrong. You guys both seem to think that Deadpool is immortal. But if he's immortal, I do think that makes the stakes non-existent. It creates a lack of interesting story opportunities. If your character cannot die, the repercussions or the challenges for that character are extremely limited. Pretty much, you can only threaten that character with violence to others. And Deadpool is like an asshole, right? I mean, in the first movie, he's telling that guy to kidnap the guy who took his girlfriend and kill him. You know, I don't know. I'm rambling. Coolman says they need to make a Marvel versus DC Universe fighting game. Now, that is an idea. It's an idea that I think will only come to possible fruition if Warner Brothers goes bankrupt. Because it's going to take Warner Brothers going bankrupt to lose the DC license. DC, although Warner Brothers has no idea what they're doing with the DC license these days, apparently, that is a huge, huge property for them. Probably the biggest they own, has the most potential for dollars. They squander that potential constantly by screwing up their movies, but the potential for money, the dollar potential, is enormous with Batman, Superman, I want to say Cyborg, but not really, Joker. You guys just want to listen to me try to remember DC characters slowly while I play this game? How do I swap? There we go. How How do I swap? Oh, I hit the swap button. That's what I do. Okay. So I got my big gun here. All I need is a person to point it at, which I can't find for the life of me. It said, and they need to use the same combat system like Injustice. Oh. Yeah, you know what? I will say this. While Warner Brothers is completely screwing up their movies, largely, they're doing a better job at making DC games than Marvel has been lately, at least in the fighting genre. Marvel's got the Spider-Man game coming to PS4. I'm sure that's going to be a hit. But, you know, I see action over there. You guys see that, right? You guys see that, right? All I need is a rifle, because if that guy sees me first, you've been watching the stream, history says he'll kill me first. So we don't want that. But we also don't want to lose track of this fool. Maybe I should impress him with my fort building skills that we've all seen that I can totally do. This guy's building multiple stories. I don't know what I'm doing in this game, folks. Oh, good question. Rick says, what do you think of the Venom trailer? There was a new trailer. If you haven't noticed, there's a new Venom trailer out that actually shows, get this, Venom. The teaser trailer, they called it. They should call it the unfinished CG trailer, because the new trailer shows a same shot, I believe, from the teaser, but it actually shows the symbiote creeping up on Tom Hardy's character. There's a guy in there. There's a guy in there. I'm gonna shoot him out of there. Crap, crap, crap. Can't end like this. That was totally worth it. I got 7th place. 0 kills, got 7th place. So yeah, what did I think of the Venom trailer? I thought it was better than the Venom teaser. That's for sure. I liked that it showed Venom. I liked that they kept it with the comics and that old cartoon where they say, "We are Venom." He doesn't say, "I'm Venom." We are Venom. Because that's the thing about Venom. It's, I can't remember the main character's name, but we'll call him Tom Hardy. It's Tom Hardy and the symbiote. The symbiote's from outer space. That's the black goo that's infecting him, crawling all over him, becoming one with him. They are two, they are one. It's, I don't know, maybe you can kind of like say it's like biblical. This is like blasphemy what I'm about to say, but like God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. They're 3 different things. They are one. Eddie Brock. Thank you, Rick. And Cool Man. You guys both came in with it. Eddie Brock. Yeah. Eddie Brock is Tom Hardy's character's name. Was Topher Grace Eddie Brock in Spider-Man 3? Yeah, I remember that. Topher Grace played Venom in Spider-Man 3. And it was poorly done. The whole movie was, I think, poorly done, personally. But his character in particular was poorly done. And one of the reasons for that was because the director, Sam Raimi, did not like Venom. He didn't like the character. He didn't get it. Didn't see the point of it. However, Sony knew that there was a huge fan demand for Venom. He's a popular character. And he had to stuff the character in. So we got like 20 minutes interspersed. I don't know how long. It was a long movie. But you got Topher Grace playing Eddie Brock. Coolman says the guy from that 70s show, the very same guy. Nobody, probably not even Topher Grace, thought that Topher Grace should play Venom, because Eddie Brock and Venom are big dudes, big characters. Topher Grace is not. He's a skinny dude. So nobody thought of him as this intimidating character. And when you see him in the movie, I'm like, hey, Spider-Man. It's a joke. It's a joke. So, I mean, immediately, just from these trailers, this Venom is more true to form. It's the real deal. At least it's trying to be the real deal. And if Sony sticks to their guns, they're going for the R rating this time. And that is thanks to Deadpool. Deadpool changed a lot of minds in Hollywood. We were not seeing R-rated superhero movies because of the success. I'm glitching out here. Because of the success of Deadpool, Logan was an R-rated movie, and Logan was an excellent movie, and better, I believe, because it wasn't constrained by its rating. They were actually able to be true to form to that comic and the character. I hear stuff happening. How long you give me? How long you give me before I'm dead? Did he get me? He didn't get me. He didn't get me. Oh, let him fight it out. The other guy doesn't even know I'm there. Crap, crap, crap. I know this is not going to end well. Just double team him with me. Just didn't work. Didn't work. Coolman says, you think they will ever make a Carnage film? If Venom is successful, yes, I do. And hell, maybe Carnage is in this film. All we know is that the movie's about Eddie Brock and Venom. We are Venom, right? It's got to have an antagonist. And although Venom is he's kind of a villain, but he's also kind of an anti-hero. Eddie Brock and Venom are the protagonists. So they need an antagonist for the movie to have any kind of plot, right? Even Napoleon Dynamite had an antagonist. Did it? I brought that up because Napoleon Dynamite had little to no plot. I mean, there's like loose plots in that movie. You guys seen Napoleon Dynamite? I feel like Topher Grace fit in more in Napoleon Dynamite than he would have in Spider-Man 3 as Venom. He wasn't in Napoleon Dynamite, for reference. Interesting. Coolman says Jim Carrey would be a perfect Carnage. Yeah, I guess I could see that. He's going to be in a new murder mystery movie, and he's got a different voice inflection going on. Jim Carrey's kind of going off the rocker a little bit, but interesting to just kind of see him change. But yeah, to make a long answer longer, Rick, I thought the Venom trailer was interesting. I'm cautiously optimistic. What'd you guys think? What'd you guys think of the Venom trailer? You think it'll be an R-rated movie? Do you guys like the idea of R-rated movies? You know, I say this now. I'm 30. I can see whatever movie I want. Nobody's going to stop me. Nobody is going to stop me. However, not everybody feels the same way. Especially movie studios. You know, if an 11-year-old, you know, a lot of 11-year-olds get to see PG-13 movies. Their parents don't care. But if an 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old can't see the movie, especially can't see the movie without ID, I think even, okay, in the U.S., you know, movies are rated PG-13, but I don't think you actually need to, legally speaking, I don't think you actually need to be 13 to purchase the ticket for yourself. R-rated movies, you need to be 17 or older, for sure. These guys, you think they're following me? You think they're following me? We totally saw each other, but I got it going now. Think he knows? Do you think he knows? There he is. What the hell? I shot him first. I shot first. Han shot first. You guys aren't Star Wars fans. That's not that reference doesn't matter to you. Yeah. I don't know. I think a Carnage movie would happen if I mean not necessarily a Carnage movie, but a Venom versus Carnage kind of movie, or Venom and Carnage kind of movie, for sure. For sure. I hope it's successful if it's good. I want more movies that aren't constrained by their rating, especially in this genre, because if you have too many PG-13 superhero movies, it all kind of starts to blend together. It just you don't get enough variety, plot-wise, story-wise, same freaking thing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You know what, I'm rambling. Let me practice dying here. Coolman says, I think it would be successful. You know what? I think it totally could be. Marvel is playing nice with Sony because they have to. That's the only reason Spider-Man is in the new Avengers movie, is because they've been learning to play nice with Sony. Look at these people. You'd think they're jumping into the ocean. You'd think. But yeah, Marvel has to play nice with Sony in order to have the keys to Spider-Man. But with that deal, Sony's not stupid, right? They didn't give Marvel the keys permanently. This is a temporary deal for now, where, you know, they let Marvel play with their character. And it's weird to say that they're, you know, call it their character, even though it's Marvel's character. Sony owns the rights to it for films. They let Marvel play with the character. In exchange, they just reap the rewards. Sony gets to, they get to produce the movies. They get to make profit off the movies. They get to create their own offshoots and kind of insinuate that they're part of the same universe, even if officially, on paper, legally, they're not. Who knows? It's probably a pretty messy, pretty hairy contract. I knew that guy was there. I just wanted to get the jump on him. I didn't know he knew I was there. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. You know what? Before we return to lobby, I'm going to see if there's anything else. Anything else I wanted to bring up. Oh. Hey, you guys remember video games? That thing we sometimes talk about here? Yeah, of course you do. So, earlier I was talking about how I'm playing South Park on Switch. One of the reasons for that is because, besides really enjoying South Park, I want to support Western third-party games that are quality and often, you know, have an age rating higher than E10 plus or teen. But the other thing I wanted to say about Switch is that Nintendo just announced that the thing has sold 17.79 million units in roughly 13 months. That's huge. That's a lot. That's a lot. This thing, if there's any doubt, yes, this system is going to outsell the Xbox One. Xbox One came out in 2013. Switch came out in 2017. So, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Now, the system's not as powerful as the Xbox One or the PS4, so it's not going to get every game, but it's still getting a lot of them. Like I said, I'm playing South Park. I'm about to play Wolfenstein 2 in June. These are games that are coming out on the much more powerful systems. I think Nintendo's got a hit on their hands. Call me crazy. But they also announced a new RPG for phones. I thought this was a interesting move. They partnered with another company, and in exchange got 5% of that company's shares. But they're making an original IP, a new IP called like Dragonia or something like that. Very JRPG-ish, but it's for phones. Personally, I don't really get excited for phone games myself. It just depends. If it's simple, if it's not constantly like asking for a handout money-wise or trying to exploit the players with loot boxes or virtual currency or manipulative practices, then I could be okay with it. Hold on a second. So because I didn't land on top of that trailer and I broke the trailer, I don't get the freaking treasure chest? Come on, guys. That's wrong, yo. That's wrong. Coolman says Nintendo came back this year. Yeah, well, within the last year, for sure, yeah. They did a complete 180. Wii U situation was not bueno for Nintendo. They were not doing so hot. And now they are the prettiest girl at the dance. Sorry, there we go. Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty impressive. However, with it, amidst this news that Nintendo is selling like crazy, or the Switch is selling like crazy, is some very bad news for Nintendo, which is that the system has been hacked on a hardware level, meaning Nintendo cannot patch out that hack. Now, I mean, they can try, but they can't actually go to your home and change your hardware. So what will likely happen is all Switches produced henceforth from here on out will not have the same exploit available so easily, at least. And Rick says, I had asked Nintendo to prom. I made a video on my comedy channel asking Ariana Grande to army prom. Nintendo's kind of screwed, at least with these 17.79 million systems that are already out in the wild, mine included. If people want to hack them, they can hack them. Nintendo has some options as far as future-proofing. You know, they could say any game we make, or any game, they could even mandate that the third-party publishers include a file in their new games that say, like, the system can't be hacked. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass a little bit here. But what they could do is they could prevent online play. So if you have a hacked system and you pirated your game, so you have a pirated copy. This is why this is such bad news for Nintendo. Is if you hack your system, you can essentially get all your games for free. And that's not, Nintendo doesn't like that. They don't like that one bit. This is the company that took Blockbuster to court for letting people rent their games. So I knew I was going somewhere, and then I changed gears, much like a famous current president. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is going to negatively affect Nintendo? Now, like I said, they already sold almost 18 million units that are out in the wild. The vast majority, most likely, of those units that are out there right now are not going to be hacked. Most people aren't going to take the time. In fact, most people who have the system probably don't even know about the hack. But there are going to be a lot of people that do know. And if your system is hacked, it's not just bad news for Nintendo themselves, for their sales of their games. Third parties look at that kind of thing, and they say, I don't know if we want to put our game out there. People are just going to steal it. But if you're putting your games out on PC, you're dealing with the same problem. So maybe not. Coolman says, I remember when PS3 Online got hacked. Yeah, I think that was 2011. Sony apologized. They gave out like 2 free games to everybody, and everything was hunky-dory, right? Yeah, that was a big deal. I personally remember getting pissed because my info was on my system. I wasn't too happy. I wasn't a happy camper. And yeah, that hack, when the PS3 got hacked, it wasn't. I think that was also hacked on a hardware level. So when that happened, online games, I remember getting screwed up completely. Modern Warfare 2, since we were kind of talking about Call of Duty the last few videos, Modern Warfare 2 became unplayable for me on the PS3. Like, it was such a mess. People were just spawning wherever they wanted, just having his whatever kind of weapon, nukes, whatever they wanted. It just became a complete mess. And it kind of shows you one of the very negative effects of a system getting hacked. Now, if you don't care about that, if you're like, hey, I get to cheat in Modern Warfare or Call of Duty, and I get to get all my games for free. Good news for you, I guess. Bad news for everybody else. Couldn't die so bad. Okay, he's resorted to doing the same thing to me because he couldn't shoot me. Rick says, I was still a kid, so I didn't have any info there, my info there yet. Ah, that. I'm starting to align the Star Wars story. I think you were born at a time when Star Wars was, like, you were growing up at a time when Star Wars was at a lull. Coolman says, that was hell. I remember everyone got pissed. Yeah, I was plenty pissed. I was plenty pissed. But yeah, it was a huge mess. That PS3 hack that happened, I think, played a huge role in killing off the studio that created the SOCOM series, Zipper Entertainment. Right after the PS3 got hacked, or right before the PS3 got hacked, right before, like a week or two, the PS3... Rewind. About a week or two before the PS3 got hacked, I believe they released, like, SOCOM 4. A new SOCOM game for the PS3. And if you know SOCOM, you know that the SOCOM games rely heavily on the online experience. I think most of them had a single-player game, but the real meat and potatoes was the online. And the hack was so bad, Sony shut down their online for, I want to say, over a month. It was at least several weeks. And that killed the game. The game had just came out, so all the steam that the game would have had, all the good word of mouth, completely dead. Because video game sales are front-loaded for the most part. You have companies like Nintendo, and in some cases like Sony with God of War, I'm sure. But you have those companies that make evergreen titles that are going to sell well throughout the lifespan of the console. But for the most part, you have Ubisoft, Activision. Activision has Call of Duty. I'm making counterpoints to my own point at the wrong time. But you have Ubisoft, you have, let's use Ubisoft as an example. You have Assassin's Creed. Most Assassin's Creed sales are probably made within the first 2 weeks of release. Because it's shortly after that they'll drop the price on that sucker. And I completely lost my train of thought looking at the chat. But Coolman says people were switching to Xbox and Xbox people were laughing. Everybody was laughing, except for people that were angry. Yeah, it was a bad deal. It was a really bad deal. And, oh, that's what I was talking about, how it killed Zipper. So, I mean, you have a game that it relies heavily on online play, and you can't play it online. What are you going to do? In an industry where this guy does he know? Does he know? He knows. He knows. He knows. He's just stopped there. Don't you think of... I'm dead. I'm dead. Playing cat and mouse with this dude. Alright. Yeah. I don't know. It was a bad time. It was a bad time. I think I got... What games did I get for free? I don't even know. Was it even worth it? Was it even worth it? I remember they gave out like Infamous and I think a Little Big Planet game. They had a few options. There were like 6 games, and Sony said, "Hey, you can have 2." One of them, I had most of the big games that they were already offering, so it wasn't like a big deal for me. But there were a lot of class action lawsuits. It's a bad time. Bad time. Nowadays, all of these companies make you don't even know this probably, or maybe you do. But anytime you download a new game, or even just play a game you bought on disc, maybe, especially if you play it online, you have probably agreed to waive your rights to a court case, to sue the company, to sue Sony, to sue Microsoft, Nintendo, whatever, and say that you agree to settle your beef in arbitration. So nowadays, these companies are like, hey, guess what? You want to use our stuff? It's fine, but you can't sue us. So, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. So, what's funny, though, Cool Man, you said that people were switching to Xbox, and Xbox people were laughing. It's kind of funny how in this industry the tables turn a lot. Mostly when the generation changes. So when you go from like the PS2 to the PS3 and the PS3 to PS4, that sort of thing. But during the PS2 generation, Sony was on top. They were the undisputed kings of that generation. They outsold the Xbox. Oh crap, man. Embarrassing. Cool One says back when online was free. Yeah. That's actually how this channel really took off, was a video I made about the PS4 was going to be pay to play online. Where the hell was I going? Where the hell was I going with this? Oh yeah. It's funny how things change. So, Sony was on top during the PS2 generation. Top of the world. They got so cocky. This happens every time, I think, to the #1 leader of the generation. They get cocky as hell. And it's bad for the players. Sony's slogan right now for PlayStation is for the players, right? But they're not. They're not for the players. If they're for the players, they would allow crossplay, right? But they don't. If they're for the players, they wouldn't charge you to pay or to play online, but they do. Now, cool man, you said dumb idea that Sony did that. I think it's a dumb idea too, but you know who doesn't think it's a dumb idea? Sony. Because they're raking in cash from it. And they barely, I don't know if they did any. I don't know if they did any improvement to their online infrastructure. I remember there were some people that said, oh, I'm glad that Sony's going to be charging people to play online now. Because now they're going to make it on par with Xbox Live. Because Xbox Live was well known for having a better online infrastructure. But they didn't. They didn't improve it. I haven't seen any dramatic improvements. Download speeds are still super slow. Connections can still be very spotty. No, they saw that Microsoft was making a ton of money through Xbox Live subscriptions. A ton of money every single year. I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars. And Sony said, hey, you know what sounds good? Making a ton of money for nothing. Now, granted, there are free games with PlayStation Plus. That's not nothing. But they also made it a mandatory thing for no reason. There was no justification for it whatsoever because PlayStation Plus was an option during the PS3 era. You could still play online for free without PS Plus. But now PS Plus is a requirement. And people ate it up. They didn't care because Microsoft dropped the ball so hard when they revealed the Xbox One. And all the crap about no used games, always online, blah, 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 blah. It was just a mess. Oh, Connect required $500, $100 more, not as powerful as the PS4. Just sounded like a dud of a system. The word of mouth was so bad, the talk was so poor. It was, I mean, Stephen Colbert was talking about this thing. That's how well known, how big of a clusterfuck the whole thing was. Microsoft did so poorly that Sony was able to say during their press conference that we are charging you to play online now, and nobody cared. Because right before they said that, they made some snarky jab at Microsoft. So people were laughing and cheering, saying, yeah, fuck Microsoft, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, while they're hooping and hollering, Jack Tretton is saying, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to have to pay to play online. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Rick said, wasn't Sony PlayStation going broke? Now, what do you mean by going broke? Do you mean the PlayStation division? Do you mean... I don't know. What exactly do you mean? Because the PlayStation division was actually one of the few profitable divisions among Sony. Sony had to strip themselves way down. Sony had so many different divisions, they cut a bunch of them a few years back because they were bleeding money. Coolman says Sony would get more money if it was free. How do you figure? I mean, personally, I want it to be free. This Fortnite game I'm playing right now, on my PC, I get to play it for free. Get to play it for free. Get to play online for free. All of my Steam games I play online for free. But by requiring people to pay a yearly fee, a monthly fee, whatever, that's just free money. Because Sony's not paying for servers for these games. Microsoft isn't paying for servers for these games. This is peer-to-peer. This is all based on our own connections. So if it's all our own connections, I'm paying for my own internet connection. This fool right here on the screen is paying for their own internet connection, or their parents are, or whoever. You know, Epic making this game is not paying for the server here. As far as I know. Maybe Fortnite runs on servers. But they can afford it. This game's raking in the cash for this company. Coolman says, I mean they would sell more PS4s. I thought that might be where you're going with it. The thing is, Sony doesn't make the majority of their money on selling PS4s. They make the money from selling games. And not even necessarily their own games. God of War makes Sony money, but so does Call of Duty. Sony's not making Call of Duty, but they get a 30% cut of every Call of Duty game sold. So, I mean, I'm no mathematician here, but I could whip out a calculator. Well, let's see what we got here. Calculator. We got $60 times 0.3. That is not good math. Not good math at all. Embarrassing myself here. $60 times 0.3. That can't be right. Oh, that's why I subtracted it. So theoretically, let's say Sony gets 30%. It might be off by a few percentages, but I believe they get about 30% of every copy sold. So if that's the case, for every $60 copy of Call of Duty sold, Sony gets $18. That's not bad. Not bad for Sony, right? If millions upon millions upon millions of PS4 editions, just PS4 editions of Black Ops 4, Black Ops II, let's say 10 million copies of that game are sold on PS4. Sony is walking away with a bunch of easy money. The profit they get on selling PS4s is not huge. I think Nintendo got a lot of profit off of the Wii, but that's because the Wii was very outdated hardware when it came out. So they were selling that thing at a nice profit. Even though the Wii was a smashing success and they were making profit off of it, the majority of their sales, or the majority of their profits, were from game sales. Even if it's not their own game, they're getting more money this way. So that's why you have Sony, you have Microsoft, and now even Nintendo looking towards services. Say, hey, these guys, Microsoft started this, by the way. These guys are making a killing off of charging people to use a service, to be able to play with each other online. They're making a killing doing that. We let people play with each other online, but we're not charging people for it. Why not? Why aren't we getting all that free money? I think Sony was planning this for years before the PS4. I think PlayStation Plus was set up as an experiment on the PS3 to gauge whether or not people would be interested in paying them for an online service. And then, PlayStation Plus was relatively successful on the PS3, even when it was an option. And so they leveraged that, and they leveraged the unpopularity of the Xbox One reveal. Easy money. Easy money. So the PlayStation 4, the hardware itself, Sony might be selling it at a profit. I'd imagine so. It also wasn't cutting-edge hardware when it came out. In the past, when a new console came out, it was cutting-edge. It was probably better than anything that was on PC at the time. Now, that's incomprehensible. PCs will probably always be ahead of any console you ever buy again. But that's because PCs are not bound by price restrictions. You can't sell to the mainstream at $1,000+ a pop. So, you know, that's my soapbox rant today. I'm glad this was brought up. Yeah, Sony could sell more PlayStation 4s. I mean, even still to this day. Like I said, I have a video where I talk about this was in 2013 when this was announced. I made this video 5 years ago almost. And even to this day, there are still new comments from people that don't know this, or they didn't know before they saw the video, saying they're pissed. They had no idea Sony was charging them to play online now. A lot of people maybe aren't in a first world country, or they just couldn't afford it, so they weren't really looking into it that closely, but they remember that the PlayStation 3 playing online was free, and that was a key selling point for a lot of people. A lot of people went with Sony because they didn't want to pay online fees. They didn't want to pay to play online. So a lot of people are pissed about it, myself included. I'm not too happy that Nintendo's doing the same thing now. Nintendo's saying, oh, it's going to be worth the wait. In September, they're unveiling their online system that was supposed to be out, I think this last summer when Splatoon launched. And they did like a soft launch with their app, which was a total disaster. I played with the app once or twice. You have to use your smartphone to talk to somebody in a game on your system in the Switch. Like I said, Nintendo does a lot of Nintendo things and knocks it out of the park, and then they do some Nintendo things and just piss you off. So the app was so bad when it launched. They fixed some of these issues, but the app was so bad when it launched, you couldn't turn off the screen. You couldn't lock your phone to save battery life while you were talking to somebody. Otherwise, you'd stop talking to them. You couldn't switch apps. You couldn't, like when you're on the phone and, you know, you just, let me just give my phone for a prop here. You know, you're on your phone. You're just messing around. You're talking to somebody on the phone, maybe with headphones on, and you're looking at Facebook. You're browsing the internet. You're doing whatever, you know? You couldn't do that with the Nintendo app, just like you could, you know, in any other app that allowed you to talk to people. You couldn't do that. So you had to have this phone just kind of sitting on your lap or next to you, plugged in, screen on, burning through your battery while you talk to somebody. God help you if anything happened, if you got a phone call, whatever, or a text and you wanted to open up a text message. You couldn't do it. Nintendo fixed that, but the fact that the app is still required to play online is a huge misstep, I think. Huge misstep. I don't know the logic behind it. The only justification I could possibly come up in my head is that they need the RAM. They can't afford to sacrifice that extra amount of RAM to let you talk to somebody while you're playing and also play a game online. But that's a stretch, I think. I think Nintendo could pull that off. It's 2018. The system has 4 gigs of RAM. It's not paltry. But yeah, that's my tangent. Anyway, let's give this one more go. What you say? What do you say? One more Fortnite romp. Let's make it worth it. Let's make it worth it. We're gonna kill somebody. I hope so. I hope so. I hope we get our murder on. You know what a flock of crows is called? I kind of kind of screwed that up, but flock of crows is called a murder. So he plays music when he dances? Do they all do that? It said I have a salute. How do I salute? What's the word for salute? Hold on. You know what? This is a good time to practice my there we go. That's how we build steps. But I can't do it because I don't have any material. It's a party bus, yo. It's a bus where everybody parties. You guys ever been on a party bus? I have not. But if you're not aware, it's a bus where you can drink lots of liquor while you drive somewhere. Music is often played. There's probably a pole or two. Cool Man says no. Yeah, me neither. I just know of party buses. Never been on a party bus. Never been invited to a party bus. What's this? What's this guy? Can I break him? I got on this thing solely to break it. Alright, alright. One more. One more. I did not mean to embarrass myself smashing a tomato. Whatever you choose to call it. I've never actually heard somebody unironically call it a tomato. However, the father-in-law on the Cosby show, I think it was a father-in-law, said it is pronounced tomato. No, it wasn't a father-in-law. It was like a friend of the family. And Cosby said, no, it is tomato. And they had a little debate about it. You guys like tomatoes? Back in the day, there was a show, a cartoon show, when I was growing up. It was based on a movie, I believe, called Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Yeah, back then we had shows about tomatoes. Killer tomatoes, by the way. Cool, man. Ketchup. You like ketchup? Yeah, I like ketchup. I had some ketchup today. See? Folks that are catching this on the repeat, you know, we're doing this live right now, but folks that are catching this on the repeat, you don't know what you're missing out on when you don't see this live. You could be enjoying this ketchup conversation too. I like how these streams just kind of peter out into nothing. You know, we talk about actual things for a while. You know, I talk big game about things I want to talk about. Oh yeah, I got lots of stuff I want to talk about. Get through all that in 20 minutes. Here we are talking condiments. So you can die when you land. That guy didn't stick the landing. So when I got 99th place, it might have just been because some fool killed himself. That's less satisfying, isn't it? There is not much interesting over here, but this'll do. Can I use this? Yes, yes I can. This is a shield, right? Yeah, shield up. Okay. Okay. Alright. So, since we're talking ketchup, what you guys eat for dinner? What's your favorite fast food? Absolute favorite. If you had to pick 10, what are your top 10? No, don't give me your top 10. What do you like? What do you guys like? Do you care about this question? I totally understand if you don't. Totally get it. But, you know, we're pulling teeth at this point. Speaking of pulling teeth, what do you guys think of the dentist? My experiences have been hit and miss. Mostly, I want to say mostly miss. Especially as I got older. Coolman says pepperoni pizza. Good choice. Good choice. I like pepper. Oh, I go to a place called Pyology every now and then. It's a pretty good deal. It's like $8.50 for a pizza. It's probably about the size of a medium pizza. You can put unlimited toppings on it. So I load that sucker with meat, cheese, garlic, salt. You know, good stuff. Rick says I like Popeyes. You know, I like Popeyes too. Last time I went to Popeyes though, it didn't treat my body so well. No, I was okay. Didn't treat my wife's body so well. I think she got a little bit of food poisoning, I think. But yeah, I like some Popeyes every now and then. I like their spicy chicken. Biscuits can be kind of hit and miss for me. I got one. Folks. You saw it. You saw it live. It only took 1 hour and 24 minutes to accomplish something that I usually accomplish in my first round of playing, but I did it. It happened. Let's all rejoice with some pizza and Popeyes. Today I had some chicken for dinner. It was not Popeyes though. Man, this is good. This is good. Good material. I don't know why we only got 3 people watching. People could be talking Talking fast food. Oh, Rick's being a good wingman here, getting us back on point. Says, I hate going to the dentist, then make 3 appointments. They're unnecessary. 1 to check my teeth, and 2 to just to complete it. Yeah. That's where I was kind of going with this. I made, on my comedy channel, I made 2 videos about the dental industry and their shenanigans. And a lot of it is related to what you mentioned. It's a medical profession, but so much of it is treated like a sales business, a sales industry. You know, it's the only time you can go to a doctor, and well, that's probably not the only time, but it's the most common way you go to a doctor, a medical professional, and they're trying to upsell you. You know, I remember I was probably 18. I got a root canal, and they're trying to get me to get a gold filling and it was going to cost me like an extra $400 or something, and they were going to cover it anyway. You know, I wasn't going to be able to see the gold. They're just going to give me a gold filling, and I didn't do it. They gave me shit for it, and when I actually got the root canal, it was an awful experience. It was in a dark room, and the guy doing the root canal was gossiping with the dental hygienist about people they were like dating, you know what I mean? Halfway through it, by the way, he went out to his car to go get something. What the hell is he doing going out to his car while he's working on me? Not cool. Not cool. And I don't want to cast a wide blanket, because since then I've gone to better dentists, but I've had so many bad experiences. That, by the way, that root canal, he did a bad job, and I had to get a retreat for it, and they did a bad job too. I ended up just pulling the tooth. Waste of time, waste of energy. Uh-oh, going the wrong way. They say go closer towards the circle, Chris. That said, taking care of your teeth is still important. It's just the more you progress, the more you level up in age, the worse this stuff gets, man. But that's the other thing about the dentist, you know. So many of them want you to pull your wisdom teeth. And in some cases, yeah, you should pull your wisdom teeth, especially if it's growing in impacted. You know, it's just growing to push your other teeth out of alignment. Look at this guy. Think I can get him from here? Nah, this gun ain't got no range. Doesn't mean I can't sneak up on him though, right? What the hell, guys? I had my shield and everything. 28. But I got a kill, and I really hurt that person. Really hurt Carlos Satan. But yeah. That's my rants, my ramblings. You know, if I was Mr. Rogers right now, I'd be putting my shoes back on. Just telling you guys that I really enjoyed our time together. I like making friends, don't you? Yeah, no, guys, for real, I appreciate it. Let me just put some happy thoughts here. Happy thoughts. I do. You guys have been great. Thanks for joining me today. This will probably be the only stream this week. I don't know. Maybe I'll do one on Sunday. Got Sunday off. Even though Sunday is technically next week. So, yeah, I appreciate it. And I hope we can do this again soon. Hey, 4th viewer, thanks for joining. We are just about to end this. Glad you could join us. Yeah, really appreciated the good back and forth here. Hope we can do this again soon. You too, 4th viewer. Glad you could join us for the end. This is the end of today. But, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Before you leave, like 4th viewer did, please feel free. Preaching to the choir here. But feel free to subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Links in the description below. And you can like this video if you liked it. Helps the channel. You can dislike it if you didn't like it. Believe it or not, it still helps the channel. Prefer you like it, but what can I do? What can I do? But yeah, it's been great. It's been great. I will see you guys next time. we'll talk more. Talk more about the happenings of the video game industry, whatnot. You guys rock. Adios.